Hello, my name's Ryan, and I'm the owner of Aaron Overhead Doors in Beaufort, Georgia. I've been fighting spam in the garage door industry for quite some time. One of the challenges that we have is that there's no licensing required by states, and there are call centers or scammers using Google to look legitimate, fool homeowners, and charge homeowners thousands of dollars and then not even do the job right. So today we're going to just show you what is present in Google, and I think you're going to find it very interesting. So let's start out by just going over Google's own guidelines because it is extremely difficult for a legitimate business in the garage door industry or locksmith industry, because those are the two that have probably the most spam, to get a Google business profile. It's like jumping through hoops, very frustrating, extremely challenging, can take weeks or even months to get a brick and mortar like the one I'm in, brick and mortar location, signage, employees, business cards, trucks. Been in business for 10 years. I recently had my Google business profile suspended. And it took me over 2 weeks with a lot of help from my connections to get back up as a legitimate business, having to prove myself all over again as fresh. So I want to point out some of Google's guidelines now that you understand the basis of how difficult it is to be a garage door company on Google Business Profile legitimately and even keep that. So, as a garage door company, if we change anything with our profile, we could potentially be suspended and flagged for manual review. And that's as simple as changing a phone number or anything really. We risk that chance. So I'm going to go and I'm going to read some of these for you. And I'm going to start down here at the bottom. If you're a service area business, you should hide your business address from customers. What Google doesn't want is you showing up to a garage door company's location and it being a house or an apartment. For example, if you're a plumber and you run your business out of your residential address, clear the address from your business profile. Now, not clearing this and it being a residence will likely get you suspended, and sometimes it comes in waves, but long story short, you'll get suspended or it'll be virtually impossible for you to get up on Google Business Profile. Now, in case you didn't know what Google Business Profile is, it is the map section with all the reviews. So just so we're talking about the same thing, the map section. All right, number two, represent your business as it's consistently represented and recognized in the real world across signage, stationery, and other branding. And they, in my opinion, mean real world being that not in a digital world, so not using AI and things of that sort. So they want you to represent your business as it exists. Here's another one. Do not provide phone numbers or URLs that redirect or refer users to landing pages or phone numbers other than those of the actual business, including pages created on social media sites. I feel like they also have had in the past, and it may just be AdWords, but I thought I had read somewhere in here that you should not have a forward. And they kind of do have that here, or redirect or refer users to. So we'll highlight redirect. Okay. And there's a reason why I'm going over these. So I live in Beaufort and we are based in Beaufort and we have a 10-year-old garage door company. And one of my true real competitors also has a true real garage door company. They're based in Beaufort, Sugar Hill area. And both of us have been legitimate for a long time, 10 years for me, and I think probably 20 years for them. It's been a really long time they've been around. But here's what's interesting, and I'm going to click this off. But when you go down here and you do a search for garage door repair Beaufort, this company here comes up with 30 reviews. And well, quite frankly, they're beating out my company with 1,100 reviews and Elite, which is one of the competitors in the market, with 1,700 reviews. And quite honestly, I know reviews aren't the only thing that Google goes off of, but you would think that there's other businesses that are legit in our service area that probably deserve to be higher than Buford Garage Door Repair LLC, and I'll tell you why. So before we get into that, I wanted to just show you this website. This is their website that they've created. Uh, Feels very photoshopped to me. Um, Website feels very amateur, 1980s, not high quality stock images everywhere. And I mean, you can mock this stuff up and you don't even need Photoshop. A lot of swag shops will mock this up for you. The image quality of some of these things are all done, in my opinion, some of them with AI. This, I believe, even says 103, which is interesting because this says 102 is the address. And if we go back here, we got 100. So we've used 100, 102, and what appears to be 103, but I can't say that with 100% certainty. But what we do know is if we click here and we go to kind of the maps view, this is an apartment building. And so this is not a business area. These are apartments, residential. This is a residential space right here. And I'll confirm that here in a little bit with you, but just kind of giving you a little bit of insight as to, if you guys will remember, we addressed this here. Should hide your address from customers if you're not like, if you're like Home Depot or even us, where we have showrooms or people come here to buy things, then you can list your business with an address. But if you do not service people at your address, and they specifically say, if you're using a residential address, clear the address from the profile. So they're breaking one guideline here for sure. The other guideline, well, let me just back up and getting ahead of myself. Now, they are a legit business in the state of Georgia. They have registered. So September 24th, 2022, and they are active. They renewed. Alex Rose apparently is the person who registered for this. And I don't think you need to prove identity for registered agent name. So that's who you contact, I guess, in the event that you have a problem with the business. Now, I reached out to the local city because I remember when I started my garage door company, I could not register a business license to my residents because they have strict guidelines in the city of Beaufort. So I reached out and sent this email here at the top, and essentially just said, "Hey, I'm doing some research." We spoke on the phone. She asked me to send an email. She responded to the email with a document, and that document was for records. So I sent that email and got the records. And basically, she said, "Yes, I can confirm in the city, we're not allowed to do business licenses for garage door companies." And then once I filled out the paperwork and sent it in, she wrote me back and said, "Buford has not issued a business license to Buford Garage Door Repair LLC, then neither 100 nor 102 Hartford Run." All right, so we can establish that there's not a lot on this business. And let's drill down into photos. So we can just go here for an example. Ryan Harrison, which is technically like a customer per se. The way that Google does this, it'll say by owner or whatever. So we're just going to look at all photos. Ryan Harrison, 4 months ago, posted this photo, which looks like AI. Also, I'm not sure, but Buford is not spelled Burfoon, and Garage Door Repair Services LLC is also not spelt that way either. I mean, this is horrific, horrible content. And I can tell you firsthand that if we would have submitted this or put this on our Google Business profile, most likely it would have been taken down because it is awful. These look so AI generated, is crazy. But then he also did AI content for this business and for another garage door company. Let me move this to get it out of the way. This is AI generated. So why would he be posting photos of garage door companies? We got Hartford, Connecticut, Canada, and Beaufort, Georgia. Getting interesting, I say, huh? We can even go back. Let's dig a little further. Let's take a look at this AI image. Ah, she too, Beaufort Garage Door Repair LLC. Western Garage Doors, California, Western Sacramento, and Garage Door Advisors, all AI generated content. This is nuts. I bet if I dug into this company here, we would probably find quite a few things that we may or may not want to see, but we're not going to assume because I didn't do the research. But we are going to say that we know quite a bit about the company that we're looking for, that somehow there's manipulation here because you got multiple customers per se posting AI content, which isn't allowed. If you guys recall, we went to the Google guidelines, represent your business as it's consistently represented and recognized in the real world across signage. And we're about to get to one more thing here in just a second. But before we dig into that, I want to show you a little bit about reviews. So we're going to just take a second and read some reviews. This is from Google's kind of top down, most relevant. This guy wants to give 0 stars, says it's a scam company. And when I originally called for service, but now they screwed up a $20,000 vehicle, it's all no one's available. But he said that when they needed a technician out, they were available. And this is kind of a sad story. Really feel bad for this guy, because this happens so much where people will hire companies out of panic because they're locked out of their car or they're locked out of their garage or in their car stuck in the garage, and they'll panic and they'll call the first one at the top, and they get this. And this is why companies with 30 reviews and are, only been around for a few years shouldn't be trumping businesses that have been around for 10 or 20 years in the local area. And most people aren't going to go to the extent that we're going to do this research. Here's a poor manager or something. Yep, I'm a manager at a dollar store. Looks like she got taken advantage of. Locksmith. But these are locksmith. There's nothing about locksmith in here. So, which is very interesting. We don't have any locksmith stuff in here, or I don't believe I saw any on the website. I can take a deeper look at it, though. This looks like a fake review. Maybe not. Can't really tell, but all locksmith stuff. Locksmith. I will say that there's a couple reviews in here about a Honda dealership right here. So I didn't use the service, is why it gets a 3 star. I would have, but Honda Leaf, the dealership, was half the price quoted. I just had to wait, right? So Honda Leaf is in North Carolina, which is kind of weird that that would be listed here. So just keep that in mind. And then we got some other reviews. Now you can drill down into some of these, and some of them might be legit and some of them may not be. But you can see that we have 9 reviews, we have 2 reviews, 3 reviews, 1 photo, locksmith service. But here we finally get to garage door repair. And they're trying to scam the system. You can see that garage door repair is at the very beginning. Buford Garage Door Repair. They're trying to get Google to recognize them as a garage door repair company. And so stuffing kind of the front of the review with the business name, which also happens to be the keyword they're trying to rank for, is kind of scandalous. But these guys went very far to get what they've got so far, and it keeps getting worse. So let me share even more. Let's see, where are we here? Oh, yes. So if you go to reviews, we can find a gentleman by the name of Frederick. We like Frederick because Frederick leaves cookie crumbs for us. 10 months ago, he left a review for Buford Garage Door Repair LLC in Buford, Georgia. But what's interesting is he also left a review for High Palm Garage Door Installation and Repair in Highland, California, the same month. Now, could he own 2 different homes? Absolutely. But the chances at this point are probably zero. So this guy is leaving reviews. Highly recommend, great customer service. And guess what? 10 months ago, he was also at this business and Timeless Med Spa in New York. So we have three businesses here that this gentleman has reviewed in 1 month, which was 10 months ago. Now, let's chase that down a little bit because I did a little research and found High Palm Garage Door Installation and Repair, which was the business that he reviewed. See if we can find Frederick's review. Here it is. Now, there's other suspicious reviews on here, but we're not going to spend time there because I really want to spend time focused on some of this other stuff. So, again, did the research. This one's at a residential location, and they have the address listed, which is not supposed to happen. So if we take a look at the URL, it's High Palm Garage Door Installation and Repair.com. So let's just click this and see where it takes us. Now, like most of their stuff, it is, I apologize about the. All right, so we've got Precise Garage Door. It actually forwarded the domain to Precise Garage Door Repair. Now let's go back here. Do not provide phone numbers or URLs that redirect or refer users to landing pages or phone numbers other than those of the actual business, including pages created on social media sites. So we are not supposed to put a redirect on the URL to go to another site. Now, I took it upon myself to research this site and I found some suspicious activity again, because now we're just down the rabbit hole. Precise Garage Door is actually not even located in California, it's actually located in Florida. So you have a link to a business in Florida who is linked to a business in Georgia through a person who left a review at both businesses in the same month. And the California location is now connected to a business in Florida. And it's not a very well built out site, very simple, but let's just figure out about this business. Is there anything about kind of when they started, their hustle story, their family? They do have a vision to be the top choice for garage door repair, setting industry standards and innovative reliability. Definitely innovative. The approach is great. If you are trying to deceive people, to deliver expert, timely, and trustworthy garage door repairs, ensuring unmatched customer satisfaction and quality. So, I mean, you could see how this might look like a kind of like a legit business, but it's not. And they have a tool here with a location selector so that you can select a location. So I imagine there's probably more locations coming up. So I did even more searching and I found this site, Precise Garage Door Repair. This is in Cleveland, Ohio. So now we have four attached to this whole massive approach. This is a single page, so it doesn't actually link out to anywhere. We do have a contact us page here, but that looks to be about it. This site, this page looks to be a little bit more built out and a little bit better designed with some higher quality photos. And those are overhead door guys. So they stole that picture from overhead door company employees online somewhere and put that here. So I'm sure overhead door will love that. And their company is a looks like it may be designed by the same company here. Okay, so we have quite a few of these precise locations if we take a look, but I couldn't find any of them online when I first did the original search. But maybe I'll dig into this because this is a lot. And I've never heard of this company, but based on as many locations as they have, they probably would be the largest garage door company in America. I've never heard of them ever, ever, which is nuts. I mean, look at this. Look at this. And I know this isn't the company that's in our town, but I'm I'll hold off on doing this, but I'll do some digging and figure out what's really going on and where these locations are at and if they're legit. But needless to say, I scrolled down and I went to who's actually doing these websites and came to this company. webdesign at newyork.com. And it's NY not spelt out. And this website looks very basic, not like someone actually built it out. As a matter of fact, it looks resembles a lot of maybe a template website that's got filler text or an AI site that was designed with AI. But you can click the team, meet our talent, and could it be that these people are real? Maybe, maybe not. Let's go to our LinkedIn page. And it goes to my feed. So none of these link to them. Yeah, I'm thinking we're probably not in a real world here. I'm just guessing. We'll see if their links to their LinkedIn are legit on their website. They're not. They're saying they're in New York, but they went through the time and effort to build this website. And I mean, if somebody saw the site, they probably aren't hiring this marketing agency to build them anything because this site doesn't represent really good portfolio for design at all. And oops, I don't see any phone numbers. Yeah, we do. Maybe we'll call that here in a little bit. So after checking that out, I did a search and looks like we have 5 pages on this site. And this is the page that outranks us in Google. The Cleveland location had one, but maybe that's not pulling up properly. So, long story short, I wanted to share this information with you because as a consumer, it's really important that you don't make the wrong decision when choosing a home service business. And there are people out there with bad intentions. My question is, why is it so difficult for legit businesses in the garage door industry to get a Google business profile? And if we get it, it can be suspended relatively easily. But when you look at this particular business that has reviews from, North Carolina, locksmith, and then all of a sudden now this business has changed names and moved to the Atlanta area, and the reviewers are uploading fake content and the address is in there and it's not supposed to. They're registered at a location you can't even get a business license and operate out of. All these things that have happened with this business, Google still hasn't suspended them. And here's what's interesting. With Google, you can submit a form to them and bring these to their attention. And I have done that and it's still up. So my question to Google is, how come it's so difficult for legit businesses who are licensed and insured and don't have all these scam type practices? They can get on Google Business Profile and stay up, even though we're bringing them to your attention, but we can't. How come they're able to have the number one position as if they're reputable and they're a good choice for local people here in the Beaufort area, but they're not? That's my question. And I feel like Google's got to do a better job. Okay, so I'm going to call the business *67 so they don't have my cell phone number, but you can see it's the same company, 882-1717. I'll do it on speakerphone.
Services, how can I help you?
Yes. I thought I called a garage door company.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Um, what's the name of the company?
Always 24/7.
Always 24/7?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Because I was calling a different company. You guys operate under different names?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Did you need? Okay.
Well, how much is it for you guys to come out?
So I called earlier and they hung up on me when I asked about the company name. So at least this person was kind of nice and actually tried to figure it out. But they definitely weren't Buford Garage or Repair when I called the number. And that's very typical because they're operating under a gazillion different names. But Google's being exposed.